Hello, everyone, and welcome.
Whoa.
Let me put George in the middle because welcome to the WikiTree Challenge reveal for George G. Morgan, the final WikiTree Challenge of the year, 2025. And George, we're so happy to be here with you today.
I'm pleased. I'm so excited.
Excellent. Yes. We did have to reschedule it, but everyone is feeling healthy again. So we will go through. We found lots of neat things. Your CC7 skyrocketed, and it was a great challenge, and we all enjoyed that. So welcome. And so I'm accompanied with Azure Robinson, WikiTree team member and overall challenge coordinator and overseer. Celia, who is also the let me get your official title here, Celia. Challenge assistant, who does so much in the background and helping out with providing assistance for all of our WikiTreeers as they do research and giving us all the challenges for the brick walls to break through and all that stuff. And Drew Smith as well, of course, is joining us with George. Great to see you again, Drew.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah. Did you give George lots of tips on what to do as a challenge participant, or did you have to fend them off the computer to keep them away from peeking? And
he was pretty good about not peeking. I don't know that he gained any insights that he shouldn't have had before this reveal. And I was very vague about anything I shared with him, other than that, occasionally asking a question if the volunteers needed an answer to something. But yeah, I was able to kind of, I think, keep it pretty away from him. So he wasn't sitting under the tree shaking the boxes too much.
No, I wasn't.
Very impressive.
Good analogy. Good analogy. The only thing that might have been a quote unquote spoiler is I was doing some work on my Morgan side of the family. My second great grandfather. I ran across him in the course of doing some other research, and there's been a whole lot of activity here in WikiTree and family search, and what's going on? Like I kind of walked away softly from that.
Oh, that's good. That's funny. Oh, neat. Okay. Well, let's start without any further ado. So yeah, this is challenge number 10, our final one for 2025. And George, if you don't already know George G. Morgan, let me introduce you to him. He's the co-host of the Genealogy Guys podcast, the longest running genealogy podcast in the world, which is their tagline. I'm a regular listener, and it's just ingrained in here. So that's great. Author of 14 genealogy books, including the best-selling How to Do Everything Genealogy, published by McGraw-Hill. Highly sought after international speaker, presented at genealogical conferences across the United States, Canada, the UK, and on genealogical cruises. Wow. Now, when was the last time you did a genealogy cruise?
Well, that's probably been 7 or 8 years ago, but
before COVID.
Before COVID, yeah.
Well, and actually, in 2001, we had organized a genealogy cruise from a 3-day cruise from Tampa to Key West and back, and we had 20-some people with us, and we had a great time, including a walking tour of the famous Key West Cemetery, and just.
I think we had 100 people with us, George. We had a lot of people. I think I remember we had to unfold 100 chairs to. It was a big group. It was a big group.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm thinking a 3-day cruise. I mean, you're just getting into genealogy. You wouldn't want to leave after only 3 days. But anyways, that's great. Anyways, George has done lots of stuff with genealogy. So it is our pleasure to try and give back to you for some of all the great stuff that you've done for the genealogy community.
Thank you.
So one of the things we we talk the way the WikiTree challenge works for those who may be unfamiliar with it is we take our guest star, in this case George, and we expand. The focus is to expand his tree and to go out, not just straight up and do the pedigree, parents and parents and parents of parents and whatnot, but we have a thing that we call the CC7, or the close connections at 7 levels, and get that. Let me just find that here so I can show you that. And basically, so at 1 degree, of course, are your immediate relatives. So your parents, your siblings, your children, your spouse. So that's 1 degree. And then the 2nd degree, of course, would be the immediate family of those people, and then going forward and forward. And so you're not just going straight up or straight down, but you're going sideways, and you're going through spouses and in-laws and whatnot. So someone who is 7 degrees away from you could be your great grandparents, but it could be also your in-laws. So it goes very wide and deep, which gives the lots of opportunity for WikiTreeers to find lots of little wee niches and corners that you may not have ever explored before. Though before we went live, you did mention about enjoying rabbit holes, and you're over 13,000 in your family tree database. So there's probably a few of these rabbit holes you may have already visited.
Never can tell.
If I may just say, just as it happens, because as you explained, it does go through in-laws and so forth. So even though this is George's CC7,
yes,
this is my CC6.
Ah.
Because it's 1 degree over to me and 6 in every direction, right?
There we go. Yes, that's right. So he's benefited from the work that was done on your tree as well.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and so
it's my only link to Poland.
Probably.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yes, twice the fun for a buck. Yeah,
you're right.
So that's great, and so that's what makes it really quite interesting. So we can see lots of different niches and stuff. So we do have there we go. Score sheet. So our MVP, the WikiTree.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
There we go. Yeah. It's funny, you zoom in on one, and it carries through some of the tabs, but not through all the tabs. So yeah, if I need to zoom in again, just let me know. But so here's the score sheet at the end of the challenge. Now the end of the challenge is where we stopped keeping score, but in fact people kept on working, and your CC7 went up even further after this. There were more connected, but Doug Tabor was our MVP with the most points overall, and then Chris O'Connell was next, Linda Tricking, David Randall, and Celia, our own Celia Marsh, who's right here as well, joining us on audio. That is your top 5 contributors. And you can see in the bounty points column, those who got special bounty points, and you get bounty points for solving a brick wall. The initial bounty points actually come from the first connection that a WikiTreeer makes to your original great-grandparents. So at the beginning of the challenge, George's profile was there along with his parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. And it just sort of, I believe it did stop at the great-grandparents. We didn't have anything beyond that, right, Azure?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
pretty much.
So pretty much, yeah. There were a few other things, yeah. But so the initial bounty points were the first WikiTreeer who could add a new profile connected to each of those, to each of those great grandparents. So that's 8 possible WikiTreeers could have done, though I don't know. Azure or Celia, you can tell me if some people double dipped and got the connection to more than one of those. But that was the initial set of
just
bounty.
one.
Just one?
Yeah, just one, and it's a distinct connection, the first distinct connection to the tree. So a profile that was already on WikiTree, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And if it ends up being that it falls between 2 groups or 2 people, then they just pick one, and the other line is still available for connection.
Nice.
Mhm.
And then the second set of binding points are ones that Celia comes up with. She crafts the, well, no, you don't try to make it the hardest set of brick walls to break down, but
I try to make them hard, but solvable, hopefully.
all hard but solvable. So she picks some brick walls, usually on Sunday or Sunday night, and that gives WikiTreeers another 3 days to try and break down those brick walls. And did they break them all of them down this time?
I don't know.
I think there was only 5 that were broken. 5
Okay.
of the 7.
5 of the 7. That's still pretty good. So 5 additional brick walls. And then additional points were given for people who found interesting finds. Those 10 points in the bounty column, those are people who found something interesting about one of the profiles they had added, and they're listed in the free space page. So, and we will talk about some of those as we go on. And when I see free space page, I mean this page right here. So on WikiTree, again, for those who may be new to this, we have pages for profile pages where the page is devoted to a specific person, or one of our ancestors or one of ourselves. But we also have something that we call a free space page where you can actually put almost anything. So we use it in the challenge as a way of organizing all of our work and our the work that we've done and our the challenge, and to keep our WikiTreeers and our research organized. But many people use free space pages to organize collection, maybe about a free space page about a place like a cemetery or a schoolhouse or an organization or a will, or a one name study or a one place study, or a set of documents that go into greater detail about instead of making your profile 7 pages long, they might put some details in a free space page so you can go into that in depth. And that variety and that flexibility is one of the things that really makes WikiTree vibrant and exciting to use. So on this free space page, which Azure will give you access to, so you can preview it or look through it at your own, are different details about things. So one of them is the location. So here's all the different locations that we visited as we added profiles. At least 6 different, and there may be even more. I'm not sure unless I added Italy, for example. That wasn't on the list before, but I added a profile from Italy, found the actual source birth record of one of the in-laws of one of your relatives who was born in Sicily. Found the actual record there, and if I went back further, I could probably build that tree further back in Sicily. 6 counties in England, France, Germany, a couple in Ireland, lots in the States. Didn't get hit every single state, or at least we haven't added them here, but Japan, Poland, Russia, Scotland. Nice little sampling there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the interesting finds, which we'll get to in a moment. But let me start by sharing a couple little charts. So one of the other neat things about WikiTree is that we like to have, along with just the profiles and the data, some people like to make little charts and trees and whatnot. And so there are different apps. I've created a few apps on WikiTree, and one of the ones I've created is this one that gives you I call it the circles chart, which just basically gives you a visual sort of a sense of how many are in your CC7 in that group. So at the beginning of the challenge, this was what it looked like. So every dot represents a person who is up to 7 degrees. And of course, the closer ones are in the inner circle. And then you can see the orange is at 2 degrees, then the light blue, 3, 4, 5, and up to the blue at the 7th degree. So that was 511 is what we started with, or about that. And when we were done, we had to zoom right out.
Oh my God!
A few relatives, George.
So
My
I
God.
did.
It looks like a pattern for needlepoint.
Exactly. Or a nice little rug.
Rag
Rug.
rug, that would look nice. A coaster.
Yeah, that's right. So
Wow.
here you have that this one, there's 2,822 were shown on this one, which I took on the 16th. So last week, I took this snapshot.
Wow.
Yeah. So quite a huge gain over all that time.
And I think there's a slight difference between what we see and what you would see, because there are some private profiles that don't necessarily show up for us. So
That's right.
Your picture would have even more circles in it.
So yeah. So let's go back to now. Actually, let me check the stats here. The actual numbers are the actual numbers on here, or are they on the reveal page? On the reveal page. So yeah, we had Doug was their MVP. Chris O'Connell, main bounty hunter. 866 profiles were added in the week itself. We started at 516 is the actual number we started at, and it ended at 2775. And the current, is that today? Let's look at your.
Yes, that's today.
2833. 2,833 connections. So you
I know
got
what I'm
your
doing the next week.
you've got a lot of reviewing to do. So you got your 1,000 CC7 badge and your 2,000 CC7 badge.
Wow.
Now the next badge is until 5,000. But you said you have a database of 13,000. So given enough time and maybe conscripting more WikiTreeers, you could get there.
Greg, if you don't mind my asking, how does that compare to some of the other guest stars you've had for visit?
Yeah, it is
pretty good. It's I think
good.
we had some higher. It really depends on like what people's backgrounds are.
Sure.
We've had ones who have a strong European background, like Jewish immigrants and stuff like that, and theirs ends up being pretty small.
Right.
And I think we've had more, but they tend to be. I think we had one with a lot of Mormon relatives.
Oh, sure.
Their keys are
Sure.
Right.
really.
Yeah. That one was our second largest this year at 1,100 profiles added. And then the highest one this year was profiles added 1,461. But see, we also had one where the total number of profiles added was only 225. So it can definitely vary. So
yeah, and it depends how many we add versus how many we link to on the tree.
Yeah. So your increase was one of the highest for the year so far.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah, that was great.
Wow.
So yeah. So one of the neat things we can do with WikiTree, because it is a one tree site and we're all linked together or connected, is that we can show the distances and how the distance change from the WikiTreeers who were involved in the challenge from the start of the challenge to the end of the challenge, which is very cool. So the first person here on the list.
And it's actually anybody who took part in the challenge this year who's on this,
it's not just this week.
view.
So, right.
Yeah.
So first person here is just to decode what this is here. So Candy Hawkins, there's a difference of 12. So went from 36 to 24 to 36.
Yeah,
now,
so this one, if you look at that, yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like you got further away from Candy because it started. See I don't know if I zoom in there. So the very first bar is at 24. So that was what the start was, and then at the end it was you were 36 away. But that's you're measuring two different things. We went from changing from a connection through relatives, basically through marriages, to an actual direct connection through a common ancestor. So if you go through marriages, you can sort of take some shortcuts and you're only 24 steps away from Candy, but you're actually connected through a common ancestor. So you actually are an actual cousin which, and that is actually my story with you as well. If I search for Clark, if I spell Clark right. I went from being 22 steps away through I think 3 different marriages to 49 steps away, but we're actually, and if you click on that, it will show that we're actually 22nd cousins twice removed.
And where's our common ancestor?
Well, one of our common ancestors is Mathilde Mathilde Brabant de Châtillon from France in 1224. So if you from your Morgan Weatherly Holder lines have a distant
swords, the Mitchells, and the Mitchells.
Go through Henry of the Plantagenets, so we go through the royal family there, back to Matilda.
Oh my God! We got a book in the bookcase in the family room of all the royal ancestors, right, Drew?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the one that was
Mary
done.
Boyd Roberts.
Yeah, right. That's the royal ancestors of the.
Book so I can start looking them up.
So
I think mine. Oh.
And on my side, it's my French Canadian mother's line goes all the way back there. But it doesn't stop there. The other cool thing is, again, because WikiTree is all connected, and when you go that far back, there's quite the web. We actually have not just Matilda, but there's 113. Do you see that? 113 common ancestors between the two of us. So, and if you click this drop down,
I knew we were going to be close.
We can choose. We can look at any of these. I could pick, say, let's say Limburg. Let's see how we're connected through the Limburg line, and it's through a different set of your relatives.
That's not like Limburger cheese.
I hope not.
Weatherly's in the balls. Okay. Yeah.
I ended up being 8 cousins.
8 cousins?
Yeah.
8 cousins.
Wow. Okay.
Now, Greg, is that just partially because of the intermarriage of French Canadians, or is it something else?
Yeah, partly. Yeah. So if anyone has French Canadian background, I'm probably like a 9th or 10th cousin to them already.
Okay.
Celine Dion, Justin Trudeau, all of them are distant cousins. So, which is kind of cool. So I just need a little drop of French Canadian blood, and I'll be distantly related to you. As is half of Canada.
Wow.
But anyway, so that's kind of a fun thing to explore. Were there any other, so a lot of them are changes from connection through relatives to connection through common ancestors, and that seems to be what the biggest changes are. Were there other changes here, Celia or Azure, that you were of note that you wanted to? Now here's one where it didn't change. It's still Christine Daniels, fellow Canadian, has gotten 4 degrees closer to you, and that was again a connection through relatives. So maybe one of the marriages got lopped off, or there was a shortcut made it an extra connection.
Yeah, I think we did. We may have made a connection and then realized it was wrong. Sometimes that happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was one I saw that makes kind of a neat pattern. This right here,
accident or concerted tree trimming.
That's right. Yeah. So look at this. This one does this change, and then whoops! Oh, I look really close. We're closer. Oh, nope, that was wrong. Back. Okay.
It may not have even been the same tree branch for all I know. Sometimes they, sometimes we connect things in error, and sometimes we connect in one place and realize somewhere else that it wasn't, that somewhere else was broken.
It can always be undone.
That's the nice thing about this, is it's never permanent. And at the same time, we can always check and see what changes were made and when.
That's right. So what I'm showing you right now is a map because, of course, along with apps and querying the database, we always like to take some of that and see what it looks like geographically. So there is a server called the WikiTree Plus server, which works in conjunction with the main WikiTree server. And it is run by Alesh, who's one of our wizards. And so you can query almost anything about WikiTree for any of the profiles that are public. The private living people, private profiles, they do not show up on the WikiTree Plus server. But if you're doing a query, so say you want to know everyone who is related to you who lived in Pennsylvania, or North Carolina might be more interest. Then you could query that on the server, and it could find that, and you could even be more specific about, you know, that maybe we're married or were born in North Carolina and died somewhere else, or, you know, stuff like that. So you give it specific queries. So here's the query of all those profiles that were created for your WikiTree challenge that started on December 4th. And you can see.
I am fascinated, Greg, with what I see the Japanese links over here. And then what is that, Cambodia?
Could be.
No, that's China.
Is it? It's still China.
Yeah, it's in the southern part of China.
But what about the dot to the west of the coast of Africa?
Yeah, I'm not sure where that is exactly.
That is actually, that's the default location if you don't actually have a location added in the location field.
I
think I know where that is.
Or is that dead at sea?
That's the location of 0 degrees north or south and 0 degrees east or west. That's where the two lines intersect.
Of course.
So 0 and 0. Yeah. Which is a good default.
Yeah.
Well, my first thought was that was indicative of some African American strain, and Drew knows I've connected to several of those people over the years. There's a lady on the east coast of Florida. She and I are probably something like fourth cousins.
Oh, neat.
Yep.
Interesting. So I zoomed in on that list, and so there's the zoom in list at Europe. So there's the profile added in Sicily right down there, and a bunch in England, up in Norway, and then throughout the rest, and then of course the US, lots of news. And these are just the new profiles added to WikiTree.
That's amazing me.
And then the greater growth, of course, was connected to profiles that were already on WikiTree through these intermediate ones that were just added, and that's why it just really exploded your score, CC7 score. And so I did the same sort of map, and it looks, you know, the distribution is about the same, and I did it for different, let me think, is this your, I think it's great-grandparents. I think this is your great-grandfather, Oregon. Same sort of thing. And great-grandfather Wilson. And basically similar mappings. It's, and then the same, there we go.
Boulders. Yep.
Yeah. So sometimes depending on where the guests are from, one side of the family looks radically different than the other one. But in this case, it looked like they were fairly similar. And there's more in Australia here than this one in the holders. But there we go.
And with the WikiTree Plus, you can actually, these are static views, which will give you access to where all these images are. But with the live WikiTree Plus server, you can actually drill down and actually get to the actual profile that is indicated by that dot. So
that exact query that we did about the profiles, I've got it loaded here. This is what the WikiTree Plus, I mean, and it's a database that runs in the background. So it's if you're comfortable with this type of interface, then it's fine. For first timers, this is a little people who have just joined WikiTree, we don't show them the WikiTree Plus at the very beginning because that can get a little scary. And why?
And as you say that, I'm sitting here thinking, how can I get into all of these so I can do a deep dive research here?
Yeah.
Luckily, there will be a link.
There will be.
Yeah, I'll get all these links to you.
Is there a break in that, George?
I was just clicking on the link. It is the 20th.
No. What was the question, Celia?
Oh, sorry. I meant to say Greg. I got my G's confused.
Okay.
And I was wondering if there was a line break that we could.
I was having issues with the profile list command.
Let me try this. Morgan. Is it 19809? Is that right?
Yeah, but it's a private, so it won't show.
Oh, maybe
the level of privacy is that it's. Oh no, it's gonna work. Oh, okay, cool.
It's the CC7 of George.
Is that the right number?
George's
it is.
Not show, but 2103 of them will.
We'll make sure that link works when we give it to you, George.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
It worked last week when I did the map. I don't know why it's not working now. Anyways, so there we go. So now it's building the map and picking 2002 of the profiles. I'm going to hide the sidebars. And now we can zoom in. So if we want to zoom in on that China location, if I click on that dot, it will pop up the profile in question. So John Ravert Morgan, born in North Carolina. Little typo there. So why
died in China? Maybe
that might be what.
Might be that name.
Yeah, every once in a while the system is very particular, and
I think you might be right. I think it's the misspelling of the name popped it.
It is, yeah.
I was just looking in my database. I do have a John Robert Morgan, who was born 23 March 1871 in Person County.
That's probably him then.
And,
son of David and Sophia.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
It's actually Daniel.
Well,
and
David
Sophia.
Daniel. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
David Daniel and Sophia.
David Daniel. Okay, I've got Daniel David. So sometimes we end up scrambling our families.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure we've all had that where the order, the first and middle name get reversed from birth record to your marriage record and then back again. And just make up your mind.
And it's different on the census. It's different on the census. It's different on the death certificate. It's different on the marriage record. And it's just, you're insane.
That's right. So that's how the CC7 works on the maps.
Wow.
So you zoom in on any location and click on it. And if you zoomed out, like say here, and I click, I'll probably get a bunch that are within that sort of the radius of where my mouse button was.
The shrapnels.
That's my interesting find.
I think we're going to hear about the shrapnels a little bit.
I think you're right. We might.
Wow.
So I think
I've always been fascinated by that. My first cousin, Peter Shrapnel Frank, I knew that we had shrapnels going back into England from research that I've done over the years and stories from his family. But wow,
this was some research, let me tell you.
Yeah. So did you do the research on the shrapnels?
I did. It is one of the interesting finds if we want to transition into them.
That's exactly what I was going to do. So
what a coincidence.
I will open up Henry's and then you take it away, Celia.
All right. So I'll start from this end, though I worked through the tree the other way.
Well,
so Henry,
You just tell me what
okay.
to point to.
It's okay. Henry Shrapnel invented the shrapnel shell, and that's where we get the term shrapnel.
Isn't that
And
wild?
so he's a notable. You have about 5 notables in your tree, if I remember correctly. And he is the only one who had a simple life. He married, he had children. It all worked just fine. I'm sorry, except for the fact that he has 2 sons named Henry, and that drove me absolutely crazy because they are just far enough back that he had a Henry Squires and a Henry Needham. And I went back and forth. Were they the same person? No, they weren't. They were different kids. Probably his wife
was
a Squires. So probably one of them is named after like her brother, her father, and the other one is named after his mother's side of the family.
Okay, that would make sense.
That's a good way to get money from both sides of the family, getting the will and all that. But it drove me crazy for a while there. So if I remember correctly, Zachariah, if you click on Zachariah, he got married to Eliza Brasher, and they had a kid or 2. I can't remember.
Joseph and Edith.
I believe so. I did not fill out the CC7 as much for these people as I could because I spent so long doing the research. He ended up having a daughter with Amelia, who is Eliza's sister, which means that he couldn't ever marry her because it was against the law at the time. So they lived together. They had at least 1 daughter, and she is listed as his widow and all that, but there is no marriage record because there couldn't be.
Even though his wife
was scandalous, and it couldn't happen in my family.
I know. I'm sorry. Wait till you get to the rest of these guys.
Eliza had already died, though, right?
Eliza had died, but it was illegal to marry your spouse's sibling in England until like 1907, I believe.
Boy, and how many families have you seen in all of your research where a husband marries one sister, and then she dies, and then the other sister has married somebody else, and her husband dies, so it's yours, mine, and ours.
The very, very common in American genealogy, but it was technically illegal. It obviously still happened that people would live together, so they were married. So it was a little bit confusing because it kept talking about, it would say Amelia Ann Brasher, otherwise Shrapnel, and so for a while I thought maybe she was an illegitimate child, or because they sometimes do it that way, but then I realized they were just meaning she called herself that, but it wasn't actually her name. So if we go back up and we look at Henry's, I think Henry Needham might have been totally normal compared to the rest of them.
Totally normal.
Follow the rules.
He had a lot of kids, but he was
the rest of them were pyromaniacs.
Okay, then we look at Henry Squires, and Henry Squires had he had 4 wives. 3 of them simultaneously.
Oh, nice.
I only have 1 in here, but he got married. His first wife died. Then he married Elizabeth. He was married to Elizabeth most of the time. He married Elizabeth Croydon.
Oh, different Elizabeth.
A few, and that was a while later. And then he married a 3rd time, and that time he got caught and was given a prison sentence for bigamy, which actually, of course, was, I guess, trigamy.
Yes.
And I kept being like, well, did the first one die? Well, she is Elizabeth Igland, and she is called that on every single record. So if we click on her, you can see I have her probate, and I know exactly when she died, and it was considerably after the other marriages.
Oh, and she outlasted him too.
Oh yeah. So then if we click on Henry Fleetwood, and that's the ancestry line that ties into your family. Henry got married, had some kids, settled down in England, also married in Elizabeth. And then it drove me absolutely crazy for the longest time because I was working this backwards, of course, and I was working from Clara Jackson. And I literally split them off into two separate people while I was researching. I was like, well, Clara married a Fleetwood. He was just called Fleetwood Keats. And I was like, obviously this must be a different person. I went through like all the children of the siblings, and a lot of them had triple barrel names. And it, I was like, this is believable. Kept going. Nope. It's him. He got married a second time and moved to Canada with his second wife. I'm not sure. Well, obviously married might be in quotes here, depending on whether obviously they did not marry in England. They might have married in Canada.
Or
their children were baptized in a Catholic church, so they certainly told people they were married.
Right.
The Catholic Church in Canada.
Yep.
In Quebec.
Yep.
And then that family, the Fleetwoods and the Shrapnels, I know, ended up in Erie County.
Yeah. He worked on the railroad for a while. He'd been like a clerk of a company, his wife's company, I believe, in England. And then when he moved to Canada, he worked for the railroad. And it's a little bit interesting because remember when I said that there wasn't anything hanky about Henry Needham? I'm not 100% sure about that because Henry Needham also moved to Canada at the same time. So at the very least, he had to have been I would assume he was aware of the fact that his nephew was living in sin with
right
someone else. But then, yes, I have all the children. I had to go through the children's like obituaries and stuff like that, where they were all like Henry Fleetwood from England, and that's when I was like, okay, it absolutely has to be the same person.
What am I looking at in the list beneath the 1841 census there? Henry, Elizabeth, Henry, Alice, and Susan Smith.
Those are, if you click, it's in the sources, Greg. That is just a family list, so it's whatever was showed up in the census. It's probably so it's him, his wife, their two oldest kids, and then the servants.
Right.
Servants
from Ireland and Scotland and wherever. Yeah.
You scroll down again, you can see he went away to school, and so there he is as a pupil.
Yeah,
his classmates.
That's kind of cool.
And then that's really cool. Talk about building a place in time.
I love it. This comes from the sorcerer. It's one of the settings is to do. You can do it as a table. I like to do it as a list because then you just get it's very easy. I don't have to worry about anybody messing it up when they edit it. The tables can be a little sometimes.
Right.
But it gives you a very clear idea of what the household looked like, the order of the age of the kids in comparison. So here he is married with his kids. He had a lot of kids in England, and then 81, and then in 80, I think the oldest daughter from the other side of the family is 85. So somewhere between 1881 and 1885, he moved to Canada, and he goes by the name Frederick. Sometimes that was really not helpful.
No.
So it was a dramatic amount of research. And you can see this is the way Greg has it laid out. This is the WikiTree browser extension has the ability to display all of the children. If you scroll down or to display them in a list form, you scroll down, you can see that some of the kids have a green line by them and some have a red. Greg may not be able to see this due to the
I see. On this side, yes.
Yes.
Right.
Color blindness. Yes. Which children go to which wife?
Oh yes. See, there's a green wife. and there's a red
it's,
wife.
It's lovely for. It's
Clara Jackson was the one
Yep.
that my cousin knew about, and
Is that's the
wow.
Quebec wife?
That's I mean, she's also from London.
Right.
Yeah.
She seems to have married him right out of quote right out of schooling.
Right.
Obviously, she's 28. So not
here's a piece of information that you may or may not be aware of. Hochelaga, the town where the census took place, that's actually the original Indian name for Montreal.
Oh, that's interesting.
So where they are, that little town, that little village is part of, well, it would be either on the island of Montreal or in that original Montreal vicinity. So that's where in Quebec you'd be looking at, Montreal area.
And I believe Elizabeth was in the next, I need to be in the greens.
And by 1891, there'd be enough English speakers in Montreal, and there's still, Montreal is probably where you find the most English speakers in Quebec in the urban centers. So they could have, if they didn't speak French, they could have survived, gotten by speaking just English. They had to.
He went to some fancy school, and she is listed as being after that she met him after schooling. So they may have both known French.
So they could have known French anyways. Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know anything about Clara, unfortunately. I think maybe there's a tree linked to her, but I'm not positive about it. And
sure. Well, she has parents.
Yeah.
Parents. That's it. That's as far as we've got.
Yeah, she had parents and siblings. I can't remember how I could figure them out, but I knew they were correct. English things are great because all of these, you can look up Clara and find who her parents are through the GRO, and then find the marriage licenses and track down all the rest of it. And also the sorcerer will let me do a search off and find all of the children who have the same last names as the parents.
Nice.
So I can get a nice little table and look for censuses that match it. Obviously, some names are easier to find than others. A Smith marriage is not going to do me any good, but
no.
Drew,
what?
Drew, when we're looking at these people, Henry Fleetwood Keats Shrapnel married Clara Jackson, and they had 5 children: Dorothy, Susie, John, Winifred, and Peter Frederick Shrapnel. And Susie was Peter's grandmother.
Okay. Oh, Susie was? Okay.
Yep.
Mary, the only reason I know Mary was because she was born and died between censuses, and she's mentioned in a newspaper article. I had to go to newspaper articles to try and tie the family together.
Yeah. So you've got there's another sibling there, George.
Yes, I see that. I've got 5. May is 6th.
You can click the clip. She's listed specifically as the child of Clara and the late Fleetwood Shrapnel. She was born, I believe, right about when he died, if I remember correctly.
Daughter of Clara and the late Fleetwood is dead.
Interesting.
It's just
all the things to find.
Yeah.
In passing. So that was a heck of a.
That's a lot of research into that.
That's a lot of shrapnel you found there.
Oh yeah.
It just went everywhere.
It did.
Oh.
I know, sorry.
All right, that I'm out. That joke's too bad.
Oh, okay. Let's see. What interesting find number was that? That was number 10. So,
Greg, just an FYI, we only have 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's okay. So that's fine. I'm fine. So here, one of the things that we this image is taken from another of the apps, showing your direct how you're connected. So this is one connection.
Ooh.
Henry Chapman.
Yes, yes.
Through your mom's sister's husband, and then a direct descendant there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So he's not your direct ancestor. He's
not. He's the direct ancestor of George's first cousin, Peter.
Okay.
No, Edith is my mother, Drew.
I know. I'm just saying who the shrapnels were
here, right?
Direct ancestors of your first cousin, Peter.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Elizabeth and Don Frank had 2 children. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
George's first cousin.
There we go.
Yep.
So, so for each of the interesting finds, I put together a little image like that, so you can sort of see how they're all connected. And so let's see.
Oh boy, these names just look so familiar.
Yeah.
Those little diagrams are from. Are you going to show them how you
Yeah.
get them?
So it's from one of the apps. So one of the apps, of course, there is a fan chart. There's always a fan chart, right? And your fan chart is nice and full, so that's always nice. At the 5 generations, let's see how at 6 generations we still have a few holes. And did we just not get to that, or is that an actual brick wall for you? Martin Weatherly.
Martin Weatherly and Martha Ball Weatherly.
So we've got Martha's parents in WikiTree. We don't have Martin's parents. And I guess the question is, are they actual brick walls for you, or is it just that we didn't get around to adding those during the challenge week?
I actually have for Martin Weatherly, who was born in Spotsylvania County, Virginia. I do have parents for him, James Weatherly and Sarah Martin, which is where the Martin name is introduced and used as a middle name. And then beyond James and Sarah, there's a Thomas Weatherly, and married to a Rachel Burrow. And the thing that I know about Thomas Weatherly is he was born in Kent around 1734. He died in North Carolina in 1785, and his stone still exists. And he was a drummer and a fifer in the Revolutionary War, and he served at Valley Forge at one point.
Oh, that's very cool.
Greg, can you show the other in that fan chart? Can you show the other couple that there was a brick wall, or at least it wasn't in there?
Sure. Yeah.
Just since we know.
And it could just be that they weren't.
Right. And I'm just wondering what George knows or remembers about.
Okay. So we had the parents of Rebecca Montfort, but not her husband, Isaac Partington Morrison.
Hang on.
From Georgia. We have that he was born in 1813. Nice.
There is Dr. Isaac Partington.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a son by the same name. But that guy,
lots of sons, lots of children.
No, I think
that's the end of the line for me. Isaac Partington Morrison. That's as far back as I can go there. I do have ancestors for Isaac's wife, Rebecca Montfort.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And there was one more off to the right.
Yeah, there we go.
What's that one?
That is Rebecca Chapman from South Carolina.
Oh, Becky Chapman.
Yes.
Drew Newberry.
Yeah, we found that the Chapmans. Yeah, when George first visited Newberry, where I grew up, and I introduced him to my family, he didn't know he had ancestors from Newberry, and it was such a shock. And so we found people like Isaac Mitchell, who got mentioned here, And but yeah, there's some of these names are very common, like streets named Chapman Street and things like that in Newberry. Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, can you check the changes, Greg?
In this one?
Yeah, there were some.
Okay.
I think we like added parents and then figured out that they were not correct and removed.
Added Benjamin and Sarah.
That Benjamin Chapman has a question mark.
Yeah, so I think they were added and then they did more research and decided against them. But obviously you can take a look here and see who was added and removed and do research yourself.
Looks like Benjamin only lasted 9 hours. It was
looks like we had another. Yeah, we had
Benjamin, we hardly knew you.
Them, and then we removed them, and then we added, or then we added them, removed them, and added and removed again.
Oh yeah, look at that! That's not even the first edition removal. Oh my goodness, we're all over the map.
Yeah,
Izzy out. Izzy out.
Yeah.
So that's
who Amanda did this. Who is Amanda? Amanda Myers.
Amanda is one of our WikiTreeers from down under Australia. She does lots of great stuff.
Because Drew, if you look under for December 2025, you'll see some. Go back up. Scroll back up.
Okay, sorry.
You'll see, Drew. There's Lydia Caroline Swords. That's Aunt Cal.
Yeah.
And
that confused a bunch of genealogists. The obituary says that the person is to survive by Mrs. Cal Minton, and there was an assumption that the surviving sister was married to a guy named Cal Minton, maybe Calvin, Calhoun, whatever. And then it was realized, no, her name was Caroline, and Cal was her nickname.
Was her husband dead at the time of the
Yes. That was the key.
Trickiest bit.
That was the key. A married woman whose husband is still alive is addressed by Mrs. her husband's first name and then and then his last name. A widow can be Mrs. and then her first name and then her name.
Oh yeah, my mother went through
That's a social convention that I discovered through this research.
Yeah, my mother went through most of her life as Mrs. George T. Smith. She didn't get to go by her first name. She went by my father's name. I know. And that was just very standard. And then as long as he was alive
Wow.
Which works so long as they have a useful name like Elizabeth, and you can be like, oh yes, she's a widow, and not so helpful when it's
exactly
ambiguous name.
Wow. Is that practice still ongoing in the South?
I don't know.
It's kind of an undercurrent. It's a Southern undercurrent.
But it probably is followed more by those of a certain age.
Yeah. It's dying out.
Interesting.
I can do it too, Greg.
Okay. So the other app that Celia wanted me to show you is this another app we call the Super Tree, and you can use it just to do show your pedigree. But what's much more exciting is if you use it to branch out and show a different sets of branches. So not only just your parents and grandparents, but their siblings. So you can actually get a sort of a picture of whole families at a time. And so this one, you can go 7 generations up in terms of ancestors, 7 generations down in terms of descendants, and up to 3 branches, or 3 set, down to third cousins at each level. So here I've got it showing 3 generations of ancestors with the first cousins, meaning that not only the siblings of the direct ancestors, but their spouses and children. So you'll have first cousins or first cousins once removed, depending on what generation you're comparing with and stuff. And so to get the big picture, you can see there. And if you add a few more generations, we add a few more sets of cousins, you could paper your whole hallway with this sort of
You can
character.
add in the in-laws, and it gets, oh man, does it get busy.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine it on like 8-foot picture paper going down your hallway.
Yeah. So there we go.
You just
There we
stop
go.
and point out the people.
That's just 4 generations. But one of the neat things about this is you can click on any one of these, and you get their, you know, their information card basically, and who their spouse was, and then a link here that shows you exactly how that person is connected to the primary, which would
It's not wonderful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I use to create all these graphics of all these interesting finds. And so we basically just spent one time going through a deep dive on the Henry Chapnell, but there was lots of other ones. One who kept a diary. One who was in Hawaii 5-0. That's very cool.
That's on my side, actually.
And that's on your side. Okay.
The Rawls are my through my Jewish cousins. And I recognize that. Although I don't remember if I knew he was in Hawaii 5-0 or not. That he played a character named Morgan. I see why someone picked up on that.
That's very cool.
But
Welcome, Dano.
Yeah, welcome, Dano. There's a few of them that actually, the interesting find starts with a trigger warning about slavery. So there's a few of those in there as well. Our WikiTreeers are really fairly obsessed with, you know, death and dying and tragic stories. So
it's not obsessed. It's that they're always shows up in the newspaper articles.
It's just that's what they write newspaper articles about, right?
There's always a newspaper
George,
article.
did you know about the one that was hit and killed by a train?
Oh yeah, I knew about him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Full-blood Native American. This is sad. A son died on the same day when he fell into a well and overcome by gas.
Yeah.
Well, he and his son both. Yeah, that's sad.
Mm.
Yeah, I found one run over by the train. A lot of people in the families worked for the railroad.
Yeah.
Found another one in the 20th century who fell into a vat of hot oil. And
yep, we got that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the vat right there. Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Cottonseed oil.
This one here was a complicated one about your grandfather and Thomas Carter, and I had to use this. I had to use the super tree, and then paste it together to actually image. And where was that? That was Carter. So there's how that whole family is sort of connected, right?
Caroline, yes, Caroline was one of the last 3 children, the product of her father's 3rd marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And William Whitfield up there, what spelled his surname Whitefield up until this marriage. So that always complicated it. But then Caroline married my great-grandfather. He was injured and became infected and died.
Mm-hmm.
And then she remarried later. But Caroline is the one for whom I have all the dower rights legal documentation.
Nice.
From Person County. And that's for me to have that immediate connection and to illustrate the whole process of dower law to me was fascinating.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And so, there's her second husband, Thomas, who then also remarried. And it was, let me think, if I remember correctly, Samuel, one of her first children from the first marriage ended up looking after the second set of kids who wasn't actually related to him biologically. Isn't that the story?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting, right? So there's a connection, but they're still, yeah.
Sometimes these double connections just throw me for a loop.
Yeah. So there's
great.
There's lots of different things there, and of course, as Celia's already mentioned, there's a list of 5 notables, one of which we went into more detail. We've also listed at least some of your people who are connected to you who had military experience, and there may be some that we missed, but there's a good number from a number of the wars, lists of cemeteries and other places and connections. And Azure will give you lists of all of this, which you can use leisure. And anyways, it was a great week. The WikiTreeers really enjoyed working on your tree and made lots of leaps and bounds. And it was, I hope you enjoy it. It was certainly it was great for WikiTree to have all these new connections. So we thank you very much for participating.
Oh, I can't tell you how grateful I am at this. This is tremendous stuff. I've learned a lot about WikiTree, and I've spent some time looking at some of the videos on YouTube, and I want to delve deeper and deeper into WikiTree and use these resources. This is just amazing stuff. I can't thank you enough. Cynthia, thank you for all your hard work.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
it was tremendous fun, even while it was very frustrating.
That's genealogy.
It's all these people with the same names.
Yes,
same name people drive me nuts. My favorite ancestor to research is a fellow Greenberry Holder who was born in Sampson County, North Carolina, and died in Gwinnett County, or in Floyd County. And early on in my research, I found another Greenberry Holder, and he was in Alabama. And it turns out that guy was the son of one of Greenberry's uncles, for whom he was named. And it just gets more and more convoluted.
Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Great work.
Yeah.
It's tremendous.
That's great. Well, we really enjoyed it. So thanks again to you and Drew for coming along as well and joining us. And so that is the end of our WikiTree Challenge for 2025. But don't despair, because we will be starting another WikiTree Challenge come January for 2026. And if I remember correctly, the guest for January 2026 will be the very first WikiTree Challenge guest we ever had. We're revisiting his tree, and that would be AJ Jacobs. Am I right?
Remember AJ?
Yeah.
We're cousins.
You're cousins. Everybody's cousins. Yes.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That was one thing I was supposed to show you, because we have because of the way we do categories, you can see how you're actually related and cousins to so many of our actually challenged guests. But Azure will share that link with you. So
wonderful.
And you can Drew knows how to find us on Discord, and you can always stop by and ask questions.
Yeah.
Anytime.
That was fun to watch behind the scenes to see what was going on.
I'm very impressed.
Excellent. Yeah.
One of the links we'll get you is
you can join us in January and help out with AJ's challenge.
Sure. Why not?
I think Louis Kessler will be involved in that one.
We did one challenge. The top participant was actually the person who was the guest. She felt so guilty. She's like, my tree is so, I just couldn't let everybody else be doing all that work and not me.
I do want to shout out to Louis, just because I tell the story that when y'all did me 4 years ago, I think, and in the background before you started, Louis said, I don't know how much help I'm going to be, because Louis tends to specialize in a lot of Jewish research. And I responded, Louis, my grandmother was Jewish. You know, he didn't know. And so it's really funny. So obviously he made some progress on my family. So
excellent.
Right.
That's great. Well, I can't thank you enough for all of this. This is indeed an early Christmas present, and one I'll be working on probably through several more Christmases.
You all have a wonderful holiday.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. Take care.
Have a good holiday. See you next year.
See you next year. Bye-bye.